Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Daniel. I'm so glad you could join me today. If you're over 60, or even if you're just approaching that milestone, I want you to stop for a second and think about something we usually take for granted: your legs. In the medical world, we often call the legs our second hearts. They aren't just for getting from point A to point B. They are the literal foundation of your independence. But as we age, the body starts sending us these quiet, subtle signals that things are changing. It's not always just getting old. Sometimes that weakness is a warning that your arteries are losing their bounce, your circulation isn't what it used to be, or you're losing muscle mass faster than you realize. Today, we're going to walk through 7 critical signs that your legs are losing their strength. More importantly, I'm going to show you how to reverse this process naturally. Stick around until the end, because I'm going to share a specific superfood protocol involving arugula and a unique breathing trick that can help restore leg strength and open up those arteries, even if you're well into your 80s. Sign 1, the orthostatic trap. Let's start with the first sign, and it's one people often brush off as just a head rush. Have you ever been sitting down, maybe reading or watching a movie, and when the phone rings or someone's at the door, you stand up quickly and the world starts to spin? Doctors call this orthostatic hypotension. But here's the deep connection to your legs. As we get older, our arteries can become stiff, almost like an old garden hose that's been left out in the sun for too many years. When you stand up, gravity naturally pulls your blood down into your legs. A strong pair of legs and flexible arteries should snap that blood right back up to your brain instantly. If your legs are getting weak or your cardiovascular system is sluggish, your blood pressure can drop dangerously the moment you stand. Research shows that a drop of 20 millimeters of mercury or more in your top number when standing is a massive red flag for falls and fractures. I see so many seniors who are actually over-medicated for blood pressure. They're trying to hit that perfect 120/80 they had in their 30s. But for someone who is 75 or 80, pushing the pressure that low can actually starve the brain and the legs of oxygen, making you feel weak and unsteady. Sometimes a slightly higher sweet spot, around 130 to 140, is actually safer for keeping you upright and strong. Sign 2, cold feet and shiny skin. This second sign is something you can check right now. Take a look at your feet and your calves. Are they unusually cold even when the room is warm? Have you noticed the skin looks a bit shiny or pale, or maybe even has a purplish blue tint? This is often a sign of poor peripheral circulation. Think of your muscles like an engine. They need a constant supply of fuel in the form of oxygenated blood. If your arteries are getting clogged with plaque, your leg muscles are literally starving. Now, a lot of people think arterial plaque is just grease you can wash away with some lemon water, but that's not how it works. Plaque is actually a complex immune response. When circulation fails, your muscles start to wither away because they aren't getting the nutrients they need. If you've noticed the hair on your lower legs has stopped growing or your toenails are becoming very brittle, don't ignore it. It's a sign that your legs are losing the blood supply they need to stay strong. Sign 3, the sofa push and the chair test. This is probably the most classic sign of all. Do you find yourself avoiding the stairs? When you go to get up from a deep sofa, do you have to use your arms to launch yourself up? Interactive moment. I want you to try something right now. Fold your arms across your chest and try to stand up from your chair using only your legs. If you struggle or need to rock forward multiple times to gain momentum, your body is warning you. In medicine, we call this sarcopenia, which is just a fancy way of saying age-related muscle loss. After age 60, if we aren't careful, we can lose up to 3% of our muscle strength every single year. The weakness usually hits the quadriceps first, those big muscles on the front of your thighs. These are the muscles that handle the heavy lifting of life. Later in this video, I'll show you how certain fats like high-quality extra virgin olive oil can actually help improve blood flow to those starving muscles. Sign 4, a widening pulse pressure gap. This next sign isn't something you feel in your muscles, it's something you see on your blood pressure monitor. It's called isolated systolic hypertension. As we age, it's common for the top number to go up while the bottom number stays the same or even drops. For example, you might see a reading like 160/70. That 90-point gap is your pulse pressure. Why does this matter for your legs? A gap wider than 60 millimeters of mercury is a crystal clear indicator that your arteries have become stiff. Instead of acting like a flexible rubber hose, your arteries are acting like rigid lead pipes. That high-pressure hammer of blood hitting your delicate capillaries actually damages the very vessels that feed your leg muscles and nerves. If that gap is wide, your heart is working harder, but your legs are getting less effective blood flow, leading to that heavy, tired feeling when you walk short distances. Sign 5. Tingling, numbness, and ants. The fifth sign is a sensation of pins and needles, or feeling like you have ants crawling on your feet, especially at night. I hear this all the time. Dr. Daniel, my legs feel heavy and my feet itch or burn. Often, this is an early sign of neuropathy, or nerve damage. If the nerves that carry signals to your muscles are damaged, your legs won't fire correctly. You might find yourself tripping over small rugs or forgetting to lift your toes high enough when you walk. A lot of the time, this is caused by simple nutrient deficiencies, like vitamin B12 or magnesium. But here is a warning. Certain popular medications for anxiety, sleep, or even an overactive bladder can actually interfere with your brain chemistry and make you feel much more unsteady and weak than you actually are. Always review your pill bottle list with your doctor. Sign 6, night cramps and swelling. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night with a painful Charlie horse in your calf? Or notice that by 5 p.m., your ankles are swollen and leave an indent if you press on them? While we often blame dehydration, frequent cramps after 60 are usually a sign that the muscles are under metabolic stress. It could be a magnesium imbalance, but it can also mean your veins aren't draining the used blood back to your heart efficiently. When fluid builds up in your legs during the day, edema, it puts pressure on your muscles and nerves. A muscle that is constantly marinating in fluid is a muscle that is becoming fatigued and weak. Sign 7. Fear of uneven surfaces. Finally, the seventh sign is psychological, but it's rooted in your biology. It's the fear of walking on grass, sand, or anything that isn't a perfectly flat floor. If you find yourself constantly looking at your feet while you walk, it's because your proprioception is fading. This is your body's GPS system, the ability of your brain to know where your feet are without looking at them. When your legs get weak, the sensors in your ankles and knees send blurry signals to your brain. As we discussed, if your blood pressure is being pushed too low by medication, you might also feel lightheaded, which makes this fear even worse. It becomes a vicious cycle. You're afraid of falling, so you walk less, which makes your legs even weaker, which increases your risk of falling. We have to break that cycle. How to rebuild your strength. Now, I didn't come here just to give you bad news. I'm here to give you a plan. 1. The arterial remodeling salad. There is a specific meal protocol designed to activate reverse cholesterol transport, basically forcing your cells to eject the junk out of your arteries. The base, 2 cups of raw arugula. It is a powerhouse of inorganic nitrates. When you chew it slowly, the bacteria in your mouth turn those nitrates into nitric oxide, a molecule that tells your arteries to relax and widen. The ejector. 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. It contains oleocanthal that helps pump cholesterol out of those foam cells in your plaque. The rust proofer, 1 cup of pomegranate. The polyphenols keep your LDL from oxidizing or rusting in your veins. 2. The bee hum breathing trick. You can actually produce nitric oxide just by how you breathe. Inhale deeply through your nose. As you exhale, keep your mouth closed and make a low-pitched humming sound. Like a bee. This increases nitric oxide production in your sinuses by 15 times. This gas then travels into your blood, opening up your circulation and lowering your blood pressure naturally. 3. The 6 breaths per minute rule. Try to breathe at a resonance frequency. That's a 5-second inhale and a 5-second exhale. This rate puts your cardiovascular system in its most efficient state, reducing the stress on your leg arteries. 4. Audit your medicine cabinet. Check if your meds are anticholinergics or if your blood pressure targets are too aggressive for your age. Sometimes, less is more when it comes to staying strong and steady. Your legs are your freedom. Don't let weakness become your new normal. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe. Share this with someone you love who might be feeling a bit unsteady lately. I read every single one of your comments, so let me know. Have you noticed any of these signs? I'm Dr. Daniel, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep those legs moving.